Would you believe it? It's that time again. It's Wednesday afternoon, which means it's time for another round of AdFeeder's Web Wednesdays. Let's go.
Ford hopes this will be the car which revives flagging fortunes. Dogged by job losses, short time working and falling sales, the chairman of Ford UK believes they've now built a winner which will sell worldwide.
It's a car that symbolises the everyday driver, appealing truly to the masses. The Ford Mondeo has come a long way since its launch in 1992, evolving through many variations into a car that's been used by business people, tradespeople, enthusiasts and families both large and small. Ford has sold over 4.5 million Mondeos around the world, but the brand has decided to retire the model name due to a lack of demand and a huge surge in crossover SUVs and family-friendly hatchbacks. In fact, the humble saloon and estate car market looks to be under threat, with the market being flooded with sportier crossovers that provide a more engaging drive, whilst not looking too simple in their styling. Customers now look for something that's as stylish as it is practical, making a generic four-door saloon a little redundant. Anyway, let's get back to the Mondeo. 1993 saw the Mondeo replace the Sierra, which had been a hugely popular model for Ford for a staggering 11 years. And one of the most radical changes was the switch from rear-wheel drive to front-wheel drive. And some online articles stated that the model had been in development for 6 years prior to its launch, costing over £3 billion to produce at the time, and was the most costly developed car ever made. Thankfully, this huge development budget actually paid off, and the Mondeo was an instant success. Over the years, the car was developed further, finding fame on the racetrack as well as on the road. The Mondeo BTCC car is still, in our opinion, one of the greatest looking race cars ever, especially with former F1 champion Nigel Mansell behind the wheel. The Mondeo really has become an icon of British motoring. During the early 2000s, you struggled to drive down any street in the UK and not see a variant of a Mondeo parked up. It was a true car for the people, and there's something quite sad about how it's all coming to an end. Now, we've done a fair amount of Web Wednesdays, totaling hours of research and preparation, but almost all of these have had some kind of update around Instagram. This, of course, isn't exactly a bad thing, and the app is constantly updating and developing to ensure its users are kept informed and engaged. This week's update sees a revamp on the Insights section for the business and creator profiles, with a new option to track how live videos and reels are performing. With the new Insights data in place, users will be able to see how many plays, likes, comments, saves and shares their short-form videos will get, and how many accounts they then reach. For live videos, the Insight page will show the number of comments and shares they get, as well as the number of accounts they reach and their peak concurrent viewers. What's more, its reach section now divides accounts interacting with a user's content into followers and non-followers. As well as this, it ranks content based on reach and account type interaction to give users an idea of what's most effective for their audiences. This update should now be live on your app, but keep an eye out for any updates coming your way, and as always, let us know how you're finding this update if you're using it. There seems to be a rather strange trend evolving in the supercar world. Let's take a supercar, add even more power and downforce, and then remove the roof. And we actually mean remove the entire roof, not turn it into a folding roof cabriolet. Now, we understand that speedsters aren't exactly the new kids on the block. They've been around for decades with their foundations as deep as the Jaguar D-Type and Mercedes 300 SLR. But nowadays, these bare-shell hypercars are a different breed altogether. The Aston Martin V12 Vantage Speedster is exactly that, a monstrous V12 variant of the fresh-faced Vantage with absolutely no roof, as well as a stripped-out interior, and we mean absolutely no windscreen. Now, we all know that V12 soundtrack will sound utterly glorious rolling through a twisty B-road. But as a driver, you might be a little distracted by the splattering of insects across your face and shoulders. And yet there's an even more ridiculous speedster coming our way, the all-new McLaren Elva. This thing is capable of reaching 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds flat, and then onto a top speed of 203 miles per hour. My face just hurts thinking about those figures. And I know what you're thinking, why don't you just wear a helmet? Surely that'll solve all your problems. Technically you're right, but the whole ethos behind these hypercars is to lose yourself in the sheer driving thrill, or look cool crawling through traffic outside Harrods. I guess that's whatever floats your boat. But we just can't wrap our heads around why any of these cars exist. Are they purely for marketing purposes and to fund their more downscale products in the brand's pipeline? That might be true. All we know is That 1.4 million price tag on the McLaren Elva could buy an awful lot of cars that are just as capable as these hypercars. New funding has been announced to support the installation of around 3,550 electric public vehicle charge points over the course of the next 2 years. Ofgem, the non-ministerial government department responsible for regulating the UK's gas and electricity markets, will now fund the installation of cabling around the motorway service areas and key road locations to allow 1,800 rapid EV chargers to be built. The regulator will also support the installation of 1,750 new public chargers in towns and cities. Research carried out by Ofgem suggests that 36% of households that don't intend to purchase an electric car are actually being put off by the lack of public charge points near their home. It's hoped the investment in new chargers will prevent range anxiety, and once again, time is going to tell with the outcome of this one. It's pretty ambitious, but the figures suggest that the UK isn't currently ready for the widespread adoption of electric vehicles, so we're certainly heading in the right direction with this change.
As always, a huge thank you for watching this episode, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen, stay tuned for more as we bring you more news from the world of automotive and tech next week.